adult conversation.
Start talking to somebody. Everybody is not gonna connect with you. Just because you like somebody does not mean they gonna like you, and that's okay.
That was a statement, though. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
But okay. Everybody, I like that right there. Tell me.
You feel me? I need your dick to be damn near as big as my shot.
Listen, I don't give a goddamn what people say. Ain't nothing like a black man. A big old black man. Like, you need that love in your life, because evidently you ain't never experienced that. But I'm not gonna stop being who I am because you used to fuck up. You know what? It's almost like mental edging, if you think about it.
Listen, because once we break, all I gotta do is pray that we don't break nothing in the house. Because baby, it's going down.
But never scripted. Every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern.
What's cracking? What's popping?
Hey, y'all.
Welcome in. Hey, Jamia, girl.
Hey, girl, sis.
Ooh, Lord, y'all. Okay, let's go.
A good one tonight. Get your popcorn, get your drink, get your everything, Lord.
Listen. Okay, let's get the housekeeping out the way. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, share this motherfucker out. Tell a friend to bring their ass on in and join this conversation. You hear me? Y'all see the title. Are we? Because both Kay and I are technically single. Are we? I always freeze up every time I say that. I'm like,
technically.
Are we single because we won't iron our man's clothes to go see his
Listen.
So if you know where this came from, but y'all know we gonna make sure to give y'all a little clip of where this came from. So this of course came from the Dear Future Wifey podcast, where the gentleman who is the host of that podcast interviewed this couple, Pastor Steele and his wife Kelly.
Right.
Kelly. And I'ma just go ahead. You know what I'm saying? I'ma just pull it up. And we roll that beautiful bead footage.
We had a radical heart shift from that moment. I got in my word, under my word. I just completely changed as a person. And I realized that God loves me, that God has a purpose and plan for my life, that God chose me, that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. So he would call me out my name, it wouldn't bother me because I allowed God's voice to be louder than his. And when I was going through transition of him not coming home on the weekends, not being there, telling me I hate you, I'll never love you, I wish I never married you, I knew that life and death is in the power of the tongue, through the word of God. So I would say, you will love me one day. We will have a good marriage one day. And although he would go out for weekends, I would literally help him get ready to go meet a side chick, right? Ironing his clothes and getting him ready for the night. And these are all things I was graced to do. I would not encourage anybody to do that unless you are graced by God to do this. But once I knew who I was, I realized I had a radical.
Okay. So that's the snippet, that's been going viral on social media, and God and country them posted it to their page.
Yes, but we invite y'all to actually go watch the whole podcast, because it's a lot. It is a lot of backstory, and that's just the 30-second clipping of it, and we got it post and tag in the description, in the chat, and also on our community post. But I invite y'all to go watch it so y'all know what we're talking about.
Right, because watching. Okay, so first off, I'm gonna go ahead and say she said, God gave her the grace. I pray God don't never give me that grace.
No, no.
I done been through enough.
Amen. Same.
Now. And when I say I went and watched it, baby, I took notes. I got a couple pages of notes because I needed to understand, because I'm a why person, right? Shout out to overthinking, ghetto as it is, but it causes me to ask the question why a lot, because I was like, it got to be more to this goddamn story.
It got to be.
You not gonna just sit up here and make it like, this was my husband, so I love the Lord so much that I decided to take abuse
Mm-mm.
until he decided to act right.
Mm-mm.
And because that's basically what that gives. You know what I'm
It did
saying?
give it. Yep.
Now, some key things, if you get like we said, please, 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 if you can, go
Go
back
watch
and
it.
watch the entire episode. But we're gonna give y'all some little, some key points uh,
Mm-hmm.
about this. So, one of the interesting things about this particular episode, when they recorded the episode, they actually was celebrating their 35th.
Yes, 35th.
Yeah, 35th wedding anniversary. 32nd. There was a
Yeah, I think
32nd,
he said that they were together for like 35, 37 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a 32nd wedding anniversary, but they had been together for like 37, 35 years, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they met as teenagers.
They did.
Um, and okay, so I'm gonna give y'all the timeline. When she was 15, they like a year apart. So she 15, he's 16.
Mm-hmm.
His mom met her and said, "Hey, I think you need to date my son." She felt if your mama is out here soliciting dates
Mm-hmm.
for you, you ugly as hell. So she was like, "Nah, I'm good." Right? Apparently, his mama went back home and was like, "I found your wife. Her name is Kelly." And I don't know what just happened. She'll be back. Uh, but she was like, he was like, "All right, you crazy, mama, but whatever." Right? Um, a year later, they finally actually meet in person. I forgot how they ended up actually meeting in person or whatever the case may be, but they met in person. They decided to exchange numbers and everything. Um, and apparently, the first time she came over to his house, he was like, "You gonna be my wife?" He said he
Mm-hmm.
knew off rip from when he saw her that that was gonna be his wife, although
Mm.
physically she was not his type.
Nope.
He
He
said
also said he also told her, "Hey, I'm just letting you know that you ain't gonna be the only one either."
he did. He told her up
He
front, "You
told her
gonna
up
be the
front, and she
main."
was okay with it. That's what she said.
Right. She said as long as she knew that she was the main chick, she was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she does admit that, during that time, she, had some insecurities or whatever the case may be. He even said to her during that time, like, you ain't got no self worth. You
Nope.
don't care about yourself. But that was kind of like why he
Mm-hmm.
felt he could do her the way he did her.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And she said because of her background, and she came from a divorced home, that I guess her thought process of relationships changed because she wished her mother would have stuck it out with her father so they could have a whole family or whatever. So that's kind
right,
of what her past background was. She was kind of like, well, that's where I kind of got that from because I wish my mother would have stayed with my father.
right. And then they got pregnant
Mm-hmm.
at like 18, 19 or something like that. They got
Mm-hmm.
pregnant. They got then like a year later they got married. She was pregnant with their second child when they got married. He was
Mm-hmm.
an hour late to the wedding.
Hour late. And go back a little bit because her parents kicked her out because they did not
Right.
like the situation. So she was living with the pastor and first lady and him at their house.
Because
And
his father is a pastor.
yeah, and then of course, that's when she was saying, she came from a Catholic background, but then she had to start going to church with them every Sunday or whatever, whatever, whatever. Um, and I think she said something had happened when they separated because when no, they broke up. And that's when
Mm,
she found out she was pregnant because he was like, "Oh well, whose baby is that? Because you've been gone for 4 weeks."
right.
Yeah,
And she was like, "I ain't you. Don't do me."
right. Hello.
Uh, it was.
Yeah, but they got married at 19 and 21. So that's a key
Yeah.
point because I think when a lot of us seen that 30-second clip, we thinking like, no, this grown ass woman and this grown ass
Right.
man, and she ironing clothes for him to go out.
I'm
So you
gonna
gotta
go see.
remember the ironing clothes part, she was
Was
still a
early
very young
20s.
girl. She was in her
Right.
early 20s
The 20s.
because like he said, he started cheating right fresh out the gate. And he was trying.
Right.
I applaud them for being 100% transparent in this podcast because they were. But he
They
said,
were.
"Oh, we were straight out the gate. I was straight out the gate cheating."
Yeah. Okay. But I will say, I think the one thing before we continue with the whole like backstory about it, I will say I applaud the transparency, but
Mm-hmm.
there's still, for me, mind you, this is just me.
Mm-hmm.
There's still some boastfulness
Oh
behind
yeah.
the way he talk like it's such a weird thing to watch the video because majority of the whole video he is very like he exudes this, yeah, I'm the man, I did that
Mm-hmm.
shit, da 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 da, da, and she still stayed. Like that's kind of the energy he gives. But then he also
Right.
has these moments where he's like, I wouldn't encourage nobody to do that.
Right.
Like if you gonna marry somebody and you gonna say that's your wife and you gonna take care of, like you should do right by. So it's a really like it's some
He gives the
surprising
air about
moments.
himself. Yes.
Yeah, but he very much is like that motherfucker, he one of them people that's like, nigga, I'm fine as fuck. You ain't gonna say shit to me. Like,
I'm
you know what I'm
ready
saying? Like,
still. I'm ready
you know,
still.
exactly. Like, you can tell that
Like,
motherfucker had his head boosted up a
hello.
shit ton. Okay, he
He
had his
did.
head boosted up a shit ton as a
He
teenager,
did.
which he talked about. He was a athlete, so he was like a superstar
Mm-hmm.
athlete or whatever the case may be. Um, and he talked about, being out with some woman at a particular club or something, and somebody came to him and was like, "Yeah, your daddy used to be in here doing the same thing." Now, mind you, his daddy is
Mm-hmm.
a pastor, and his daddy
Mm-hmm.
had 6 kids before marrying his mother, and then had him and his two sisters with his mother.
Yep.
Um, so but then somebody else in that same spot was like, "Yeah, your granddaddy used to be in here doing the same thing with a different woman." And he was cool with being like his father,
Right.
but realizing it was a generational thing, and
Mm-hmm.
his grandfather was doing the same shit.
And his
He
grandfather was a
said,
deacon.
yeah, his grandfather was a deacon and was a womanizer as well. He felt some type of way about that, and he
Right.
said it didn't sit right with him because then he started thinking, if this is a generational thing, then that means my sons will be doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, he said that's not what he wanted for his kids, which is so interesting.
Mm.
The things that people will do, but say they don't want that for their children,
True. It
because
didn't
we're
stop
not
him though.
that part. Because that's my thing. Because it's like, you wouldn't want nobody to treat your daughter like this. You wouldn't want your son to act like this. Because this
Right.
isn't a circumstance of, you grew up a certain way, which was out of your control.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, you do your best not to do the same thing to your children. This
Right.
was you making conscious decisions
Conscious.
to
But
be
I
out
also
here.
like the point that somebody made in the comments because every time that he would talk about something he did, he tried to smooth it out with a scripture, and
Baby,
he never really said I was wrong. I shouldn't have did that. He just kept talking about, man, I was with woman after woman after woman after woman. But, da 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 14, 15 say. I'm like, first of all,
mm-hmm,
at the end of the day, like I like what somebody said in the comments, just because everything is a choice. So you have some men that see the sins of their father and vow never to do it. Like
right.
I seen my mother cry. I seen what my daddy did to my mother. It's like I would never want to do that to a woman, and actually turn out the total opposite of their fathers. And then somebody see it and use it, like he said when he somebody said that about his father, he was ready to flex and be like, yeah, 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 because it's like you think you coming from some little pimp lineage, and then until you have a moment with yourself, it's like, okay, yeah, but it's really not a flex because all y'all proclaiming to be these men of faith, and you in places, people know you married, people know y'all wives, and you just out here embarrassing them, doing them dirty in public. And that man asked him that too.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, so you was just out here in public, arm to arm with a woman, and everybody know you got a wife, and you don't even care.
He was like, "Yeah, I did. That's what I did."
Yeah,
And
he
I mean,
took pride in it.
and I think that's the thing because I understand admitting to your faults and not like shying away from the things that you've done in your past. because your past is your past. It
Right.
took you to where you are today. So, and especially if you've grown and learned from it. But some majority of the times people have you hear a little bit of remorse for
He
what
had none.
happened.
He had none.
None whatsoever. But that was one of the things that I noted. I was like using scripture to justify your behavior, which
Yep.
is crazy work.
Yep.
Like literally one of the things I wrote down. You know what I'm
Literally.
saying? And then
Literally.
he would even tell he told his wife apparently one time that he loves her, but he likes his side chicks. Now this goes back to my
He was
thing when I
young
tell
though. Yep.
he was no, but I make it. But the point I want to make is we talked about it several times on here
Yep. You don't
about
like who you with.
right. You can love a person but not like them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a difference. It is a difference.
He
It is
even
a
say
huge
to this
difference.
day that she was not would be his choice, but she his purpose.
Yeah, she's
His
not his
preference.
preference, but
Let me quote it right. She is not his preference,
preference, but his
but
purpose.
she's his purpose.
Which I'm gonna be okay. I heard that and I understand. I do understand what they're saying,
Mm-hmm.
but it still sounds real funky. You
It
know what I'm
is.
saying? And I'm happy that the podcast host he was like, but you do find your wife attractive. He was like, hell
Yeah.
yeah. He was like,
But if
hell
he
yeah, I
didn't
find her.
elaborate on it, he wouldn't have said that. He
Nah,
wouldn't have said that.
which
And go ahead, sorry.
no, no. I was just gonna say which it sucks because it's like at least add that part onto it. Like
Thank
let
you.
people know. You
I don't
know,
know about everybody else, but me as a woman, when my husband or my man speaks of me, I don't want him to always speak of me as being this survivor of his bullshit. You know what I mean? It's like,
right?
oh, everybody don't make them like her no more. I don't know if they make them like her. She got grace, she got perseverance, and she got this. I mean, everything that you talked about her was just talking like she survived you.
Right.
Like, talk about, the essence of who she is. Like, you know, her as a woman and everything that she added to your life. Only thing that you said enduring about her is her perseverance through your bullshit.
That part.
Nah,
Which
bro. Nah.
which the word grace got thrown around so much in this
So much.
episode. And I was like, y'all stop trying to sugarcoat what this really was. This was abuse.
It
This
was.
was
It was. That y'all
it
put a
was
band-aid. Put a God band-aid on. Sorry.
right. But now I will say this, baby. If you feel so convicted that you knew that was your husband and
Mm-hmm.
you needed to be there, to get to the other side with this man,
Mm-hmm.
cool. That's awesome. And
Mm-hmm.
matter of fact, this might be the perfect time for me to play this other little clip because the whole grace thing. She kept saying that she was blessed with the grace to deal with this, but then she made the statement, because he had asked the question. What? Let me just play the clip. Let me play the clip. We're gonna play the clip because once again we're gonna roll that
This
beautiful
beautiful bean
bean
footage.
footage. Okay.
I knew I wasn't his preference. My husband dated little Latina girl.
Oh, hold on. Baby, I had this thing on max speed. I was like, I gotta get through this. This is a lot to watch. So let me make sure I put it on regular speed. Okay.
Girls with long hair and big titties.
You gotta remember, I'm from Arizona.
In fact, when he first met me, he's like, you're cute, but you're a little heavier than what I'm used to. And I go, well, what are you used to? He's like, I'm used to, $1.20, $1.25. I said, well, I'm almost $2. So I don't know what to say here.
I'm almost $2. I love it. So why are you so self-aware though? How did you become that?
I guess I'm just a realist when it comes to it. I understand it is what it is. I mean, just because I'm not his preference don't mean he's not gonna, like this. I mean, he's been coming back for 32 years.
Well, 35 this December if you add up the other years. But some people may look at that as you have low self-esteem.
Probably, maybe. And like he said, I had no value, had no worth. And I said that from the beginning. I said, I didn't know who I was. And I was just very, open and honest about that. But I was confident that we should be together. It's very unique.
And so
A
lot of stuff that y'all are saying is going to trigger a lot of women. Mm-hmm. They're going to look at it like, see, that's that struggle love they're talking about. I don't want it.
Right.
I don't want this struggle love. I don't want to have to deal with a man that has to go through all that and me lower my standard, lower my value, lower everything that I know that I am as a woman to work through the cultivation of a man, for a man to be in this broken state, disrespectful, calling me out my name, parading women in front of me, and then I'm gonna pray for his deliverance and pray. No, God, I need the reformed man. Bring me the man that after he's been set free and delivered. I don't want that process.
They want that finished product.
So my question to you, because only you can say that, what would you, because I don't even want to say advice, how can you reframe or state, because this is your story, this is your journey,
my story.
It's your story.
Right.
Sure. What would you say to the women that may be looking at this and saying, see, that's that nonsense they talking about?
Well, I would say that's why you're single still. Because I'm sure somebody had been in your life already.
You're gonna pick the fight, you know?
And you didn't want to give the investment for that person to become somebody, and then you lost them probably a long time ago. And you should have just worked with them from the beginning and just worked out the kinks and worked it out, because a man can always build. Money can always be made, you know, and that's what we do. We build a life together. And I'm so thankful that that's what we've done. And that's why I think I value and love you so much, because we've built our life. And so they miss that building process because they want to come into it already done. Now, I get it. Eve was put on the earth with everything done. I get it. That's why women want things to be set and done, because Eve showed up and everything was named and it was just there.
Wow.
But at the same time, God can give women a resilience because we're a helpmeet for a reason. And we're supposed to help meet the need and help complete the man. I know it's going to cause a fight with that too, but I'm very into that because I'm living it. I'm a living example of it works. When you line up your life and get behind your man that is following God, that's submitted to God, and you say, Lord, what can I do to make him better? Your life overall becomes better.
Here's an episode I was talking about.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So here, I'm going to tell you what pissed me off about her answer, right? Is because for you to automatically say, that's why you're single, because I don't want to deal with the bullshit, but then try to frame it as if a woman doesn't want to work on building a life with a man, it's some bullshit.
Big bullshit.
Because me not wanting to deal with somebody being manipulative, like talking down to me, being verbally abusive, mentally abusive, emotionally abusive, like not wanting to deal with those things has absolutely nothing to do with whether or not I would work with a man on building a financial foundation, because you try to make that 2 + 2 is not equal to 4, and I promise you did not eat. That ain't what it is.
That did not.
You know what I'm saying?
He did not eat at all. Malnourished.
Okay. I just want my man to be about me and not feel like he still need to run the streets to make himself feel like he is a man. You know what I'm saying? I can work with somebody who is still trying to build a career, still trying to find, financial footing. I can work with that shit. That's fine.
Right.
That I can do.
Right.
But what I don't want to deal with is that I don't want to deal with somebody looking at me like, you really ain't my type, but we here. Or I hope you know that I got like 4 other bitches sitting on the side. Like, you the main one. You know what I'm saying? And then it was another part of this where she talked about a bitch came up to her job trying to be like, what's up? I just found out about you. And she was like, girl, I'm the wife. What the fuck is you?
That I think he was dealing with for 5 years, I think she said.
I don't know if it was 5. I think it was 5 years total after they got married of him cheating. Okay. I don't know if he was dealing with the same person for 5 years.
I thought that's what she said, but I'll go back.
I remember the 5 years, because I remember it was 5 years in is when he stopped cheating. And the reason he stopped cheating had nothing to do with her. The motherfucker got caught robbing. She was a 911 dispatcher. Got called put the police out there for a high speed chase. They get the person pulled over. It's him and his cousin
for a
from
robbery.
trying to rob somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning, and
When he
he
was supposed
go
to be
to
watching their
jail.
kids.
Right, he's supposed to be at home watching the kids. He'd have paid his sister to watch the kids so he can go out robbing and stealing and shit. You know what I'm saying? So now he just set up in jail for 3 days, and he'd have prayed to the Lord, if you give me up out of this, I promise I'm a become a preacher. And a few seconds later, they call his name to come out, and he walk outside and tell his wife and his daddy and his mama, "All right, I think I'm ready to be a pastor." So it had nothing like
He
the
said nothing about his
conviction.
wife, his marriage, or his relationship. And then
The,
he was on probation, so that's the only reason why he couldn't drink, smoke, and go out and do all that other stuff is because he was on probation.
Right, and he didn't want to go to jail for 7. Even down to the host asked him, "Well, why would you just never leave her alone?" He was like, "Well, I wasn't gonna give the opportunity for another man to come in and feed
Raise
my
my kids.
kids."
Didn't say nothing about her.
Nothing at all.
Nothing about her.
And he said he's always been a great dad. He was just a piss poor ass husband.
His husband. He said that. And okay, so to go back to what she said, like I said, if she would have kept it in the context of this is my story, this was my way, and this was my choice, and this is what worked for me, instead of you
Right.
looking at women talking about, well, this is why you were single, baby. That man looked at you and said you ain't had no value for yourself. If you would have had value for yourself at day one when he told you that you would not be a priority, you would not be sitting on that couch right now. Let's make that 100% clear. Because he would have
Hmm.
left you alone, like the girl that gave you his number did. Because let's talk about how you got him in the first place when you called him. You got him from his
Facts.
ex because she left him alone because she said, "Oh, he dogged me out. He dogged me out. I dumped him. So here you can have him because he gonna dog you out too." Is what his ex told you, and you pursue him knowing he had dogged another woman. So you
That
came
part.
into a rocky foundation knowing he wasn't shit. And
That
you
part.
accepted it. So if you would have had value and self-worth to yourself, you wouldn't even be sitting on this couch giving this testimony now. You probably would have had a loving relationship already instead of waiting 20 years for this man to actually treat you like a wife.
Right. And now let's
Like,
let's also
so,
let's also keep it 100, because she also admitted that in the beginning she was chasing after him with knives, hopping on cars, pulling
yeah.
up on him, fighting him in the club and shit like that. So it
Hmm.
was very much a back and forth toxic relationship. But
Yes.
they highlight majority of what he did. I will be honest
Hmm.
about that. So
Well,
it
she
was
never
so
said
she
nothing about her having infidelity or whatever.
no.
It's just her reaction to the stuff that he was doing. And she even said, like, because he was like, well, was he your, preference? And she was like, oh yeah. He's
Oh
I
yeah,
love him. Like,
she was head over
she
heels
speaks
from
of
day
him
one.
in an endearing way, but not anywhere really in his podcast does he look at his wife. I'm gonna say from the outside looking in, I feel like a lot of men do this. It's like I'm sticking with this woman because it's the woman that deal with my bullshit. I don't necessarily
Mhm.
have this loving, beautiful emotion for her, and I love her. Down. It's like, nah, you. When he say she a rider, like, no, I don't want that to be the reason why you want to be with me. Because I was the person that took up but most of
All
your
the
bullshit.
bullshit.
I stuck you sitting there talking down to me. Like she said, he done call her every name in the book. You done cheated on her. I think the only thing he probably didn't do was put his hands on her because they didn't say nothing about that.
Right.
But I'm supposed to stick through all of this. You coming home 3 days later and talking about
Baby.
you ran his bath water because God gave you grace. I don't know about y'all, but the God that I love wants the best for me. He did not create me to be abused, talked down to, belittled. That's not love. You can't sit here and tell
Right.
me God graced you. At the end of the day, if God placed you in that man's life to birth something in him, you could have birthed something in him as his friend. You could have stayed present in his life, even not as his wife.
True.
Because I do believe God placed people in your life to bring something out of you to the next level. Yeah, but guess what? You could have been like, hey, I understand, but until you learn how to treat me this way, we gonna only be friends. You can go to the left, I'm gonna be to the right, and whatever. But what I cannot tolerate is no disrespect. You see, talking about I hate you, I don't like you, I don't want to be with you. Only reason why I'm with you is with my kids and calling you out like your name.
Oh, and let's not forget the main reason that he picked her to be his girlfriend in the very beginning when they were teenagers is because she lived close to him. He said she was five
Yeah,
minutes away. The rest of his girlfriends was 30 minutes away. She had a job, was giving him money,
giving him money
and
because she worked at Lane Bryant. Yep.
yep, and she cooked and fed him.
And she was the closest.
Yeah, and she was the
Yep.
closest. So it's just
It's crazy.
it's insanity. Um,
I mean, even to
what
the point
else?
where they came and they started their church. It's like he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna need your money from your job to start this church," and we started our church. And that's how you. So it's like, even until that moment, you still carrying this whole relationship on your back. I don't want to. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, ma'am. I respect everything that you went through, but I don't want to have that much endurance just to be next to
Right.
somebody. I don't want to
Just
have
to
to go through
say,
that much heartache and pain and embarrassment, public embarrassment
just to say I
to
got a
be with
husband.
somebody.
Just say I got a man.
And you can't
And
tell me
he,
that's God's grace. You cannot sit here in my face and tell me
yeah.
that's God's grace. You cut that shit
And this
out,
is the
ma'am. Cut
and
it
this is
out.
the thing. This is the thing, because we both are very realistic and we understand that no relationship is perfect. But this
None.
is also, and I'm pretty sure we've talked about this too before on the show. This is where analyzing people's relationships
Mm-hmm.
come get real dangerous because you never know somebody's full backstory. Although I did see a video, and I wish I would have saved it, but I didn't. But I did see a video of somebody who goes to their church, and
Mm-hmm.
the young lady said that God led her to their church, and she still don't understand why she's supposed to be at their church. But she said every time she tried not to go to that church, something happened and she, get led back to the church. But anyway, so she said the very first time she went to the church, she was so taken aback. She felt so uncomfortable because apparently this is them talking about their past and the relationship that they have is a common thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the same way that they talked about it there is the same way that they talk about it at church.
Mm-hmm.
And the best watching it, I'm gonna tell you what it sounds like to me. The vibe that I get is and let me preface this by saying this is not what it is based on what they've said. I don't see any signs of what that this is that situation,
Mm-hmm.
but it gives the energy of a pimp and his bottom bitch.
Yep.
It gives the energy of a pimp and his bottom bitch. And the pimp just got to the point where he ain't want to pimp no more. So he married the motherfucker that he'd have been with the longest. Because if you don't know what a bottom bitch is, it's the bitch that's been with the pimp the longest. It's
Mm-hmm.
normally the first motherfucker he started pimping. And once he started growing and getting more hoes, she moves to like his main chick or whatever. You know what I'm saying? She's no longer uh, a hoe majority of the time.
Right.
But that's kind of the energy that it gives. And eventually he does, because the host asked him like, "What would you say for men out there that's gonna try and use your story to
Mm-hmm.
manipulate women to be like, see, you just gotta work with me and give me time and this and another." And he gave the scripture of, when I was a child, I did childish things, but once I became a
Mm-hmm.
man, I put childish things away, and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's why it's such a conflicted situation because, baby, the first like 30, 45 minutes of the video
Woo! You will be heated. You're
is
gonna be heated. You're gonna be heated. First of all, once they get to going, the first 5 to 10 minutes, I'm like, I'm about to turn
it,
this off. I'm about
girl.
to turn this off.
It was a struggle. I had to pause it. I had to pause it and walk away for a second. I was like, this
I'm
is
about
about
to
to be
turn
too
this
much.
off. I'm about
This
to
is about
turn
to
this
be too
off because
much.
that's the one thing I cannot stand is a person that tries to hide behind the God band-aid or the religious
Hmm.
band-aid to try to justify the reason why. Because they kept saying you could be saved, but you cannot be. Well, I forgot the word that he used. But at the end of the day, the whole point of allowing God in your life is to grow and be better. That's
Hmm.
the whole point. So at the end of the day, it's like y'all had generations of men that was doing all this insanity, but yet still on Sunday saying da 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 da. And I'm like,
All
at
right.
any given time, there was no change in your heart from God to be like, hey, that ain't right. And then he kind of touched on that too. He said how you can kind of like go to church and not really be like a believer almost, because he kind of said that toward the end, because he was like, it took him even a while to just, become that, because he was like, I was just, doing what you do in church, like he said, hit the tambourine and keep going. And I'm like, at any given time, God just speaks to your heart like, don't treat that woman like that. Don't do that. You don't got no conviction, no discernment, no nothing, like.
Right, because at the end of the day, if you want to go biblically about a marriage and everything like that, well, the Bible said, "Husbands, treat your wife as Jesus treated the
Hello.
church." You know what I'm
Thank
saying? And
you.
I don't think Jesus was out here talking crazy to the church. I'm just saying, correct me if I'm wrong.
But I mean, we don't want to
I'm
quote that.
not.
We wanted to just quote all the ones that had something to do that's gonna justify your bullshit.
Right.
I didn't like that. If you gonna
Yeah.
stand on it. Be like, hey, this ain't the one. Like, that's what I really would have wished I would have heard him say more of. But he kind of was acting like it was a flex, and it was kind of like you was grinning and she giggling. I'm like, girl, you went through pure hell, and you trying to sit there like you trying to have even an air about yourself, like, yeah, I was so graced to do this. I'm such a Proverbs 31 woman, and I'm such a this. No, you was manipulated, and you was a fool, and you allowed yourself to be for years because you had low standards for yourself. So don't. My
Right.
whole thing is, I'm cool with that. You came to your moment where you came out of it, but don't sit there and talk to other women and say that's why you single. Because at the end of the day, I would be single for the rest of my life before I let somebody sit in my face and dog me out, tell me what I ain't, call me out my name, and say I'm not your preference, I'm not your whatever. I want you to leave me, but I ain't gonna leave you because we got these kids. Ain't no way.
Right.
Ain't no way.
And I will point out a couple other things that she said that stood out to me, especially as far as her mindset in the beginning of their relationship, was one, she was looking to him to fill a void.
Yep,
Her
she said that.
whole connection with God, Jesus, religion, however you want to put it, was rooted in him. So if he didn't go to church, she didn't go to church,
She
right?
said that. Yep.
Um, and she said that she thought him becoming a husband, she thought simply him having the title of husband would
Was
make him
gonna
act
change
right.
them. Yep. She said that. She did.
So it's so many people out here that's like, oh, if we have a child, he'll act right. Oh, if
Yep.
we get married, they're gonna
He
act
act
right, baby.
right. Nope.
Cheating is a character flaw. A
She
person
said
is
that.
not going to stop doing whatever they doing just because you put a ring on their finger, they put a ring on your finger, you pop a baby out your cooch, or you put a baby in her. Like, motherfuckers is gonna do what the fuck they want to do until they feel convicted to change of their
Mm-hmm.
own accord. Now, what the reason for the change may be, that's different from person to person. But girl, ooh, that made me think about that dumbass motherfucker that gonna tell me, well, if I move down there to Alabama, I ain't gonna cheat no more. Nigga, that's a character flaw.
Right.
You'll
You
cheat
think
wherever
you
the fuck
think
you at.
geographics gonna make you stop being a hoe?
What? Somebody, I don't know nobody down there. Bitch, what that mean? How you
I
got?
don't
You can
know
walk
nothing.
outside and say hey to somebody. What the fuck? Sorry. Anyway, because
Yep, but
every
she
time I
said
think about
that though. She did
that,
say
I was
that.
like, but
He
you know
said
what's
he was an
crazy?
hour late because he didn't even know. And he said the night before, even at his wedding, he still was hoeing.
Oh yeah, at his bachelor party the night before,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and he wasn't 100% sure that he was ready to actually marry her. Which, I'm sorry, waiting an hour at the altar for your husband to show, your supposed to
If
be
that was not
husband
a red
to show up,
flag.
baby, I could see my mother and father being like, hell no, we finna go. You got my mom and daddy probably treated like a college
Girl.
class, baby. You got 15 minutes to show up.
Her parents probably wasn't even there. Because they like, we told you.
Probably.
We told you.
Probably. Listen, especially because she was pregnant at the wedding. She was
Mm-hmm.
pregnant with their second child at the wedding.
Yeah.
Um, and so, but here's the other thing. Because keep in mind, there was a short period of time, I think, right after they got married, where he was trying to do right, or at the very least, he was going to church on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said that he backslid because he went to her and told her that he needed to go out and have fun because he didn't have fun. He hadn't had fun as an
He
adult
hadn't
because
had
they got
fun though.
married so young.
Yep.
And I was like, baby, that's crazy work.
It went on a 5-year tantrum.
5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Hoeing, drinking, and smoking.
But here's the other thing, and while she over here talking about, she trying to bring up women who look for a man who are already making good money and all that kind of stuff. When that girl came to her job to tell her that she was a girlfriend, and the girl said, "You gonna leave him?" She said, "No, I'm not gonna leave him. That man make good money. What I'm gonna leave him?"
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Not you staying with this man because of his money, but then you gonna try and judge women because they want somebody who make a certain or in a certain financial tax record or whatever the case may be. Don't do that. Don't do that.
And then talking about because y'all don't wanna you didn't persevere with him in the beginning, or you didn't want to work with him in the beginning. First of all, think about this. Would you buy a car knowing it's a lemon?
No.
Who does that? You bought a car knowing it was a fixer-upper. So that was your choice.
The only time it makes sense to buy a quote-unquote fixer-upper car is if it's something that can turn into vintage that will make money.
Thank you.
So, now, this is a dangerous slope to be going down, though, because this borders on that whole thing when I be like, fuck your potential. But, and I don't know if I've ever explained why I say that. I say fuck your potential in terms of, just because I see potential in a part of something for a person does not mean that person wants to achieve that potential. Correct. So I'm not going to sit here to try and convince you of the potential that you may have. Yep. Either you're working towards it already because you see it in yourself and you desire to have this.
That's it.
Or not. I'm not going to convince you of it. Just because I see good in you and you could be a decent person don't mean that's what you want.
I think when we even say fuck your potential, it means that fuck your potential when you a dickhead. Because I can see if you're a kind-hearted person, you're a really good guy. The core of you, the moral fiber of who you are, is an amazing person. That's awesome. But just you may not be in the best state of life right now. So when we say fuck your potential, that's not what we mean. Because that person with that heart and that great moral fiber and that beautiful essence about themselves is just literally one opportunity away from whatever it is that he wants for himself. So that's potential, y'all, in my understanding. In my heart. Not you a dog. Oh, but I think he could be okay. I think he can be good. I think he'll be a great person. I think he won't disrespect me again. That's bullshit. When she say fuck your potential, that's what fuck your potential mean.
If you sit up here dangling the probability of you being a decent human being in front of somebody's face, knowing that you have no intention of being a decent human being to this person, fuck your potential. Fuck you and the horse you rode in along with it. To be honest with you, but child,
because like we say all the time, like I could say this for both of us: the type of women that we are, very business minded, very driven, very creative. So even like she said, I do agree with the point where she says, sometimes when a man finds him a partner, she can catapult him to a lot of different things. Like she said, like she said, she's his helpmate, she's his partner. Like she helped complete him in a lot of different ways. I honestly do believe, I do agree with that. And then your husband also completes you in a lot of different ways. Because just say where we always talk about where you strong, I may be weak, and where I'm weak, you may be strong. But at the end of the day, it shouldn't be at the cost of yourself either. It should not. And she can say all she wants to, but baby, you was losing yourself bit by bit. I don't care what you say. You've been taking this verbal abuse since you was like 15, 16, 17.
Yeah.
Hoping and wishing that this man, you had to wait till this man was dang near 30 for him to act right.
Right.
No ma'am, no sir, no hamburger.
Like, nah, I'm good on this shit. Like, for real.
Hello.
And that's and I think that's the thing that just really sent me about the whole video. It's like I feel like a lot. Okay, hold on. I got so many thoughts trying to come out at one time. So, okay, I'm gonna hit a couple of different points. So on the point where he was talking about something, they don't make her like this anymore. They don't, because you want to know why? She is one of those women that's like our grandmothers were. You know what I'm saying? They stay because they either feel like they didn't have options or they didn't have other options. Okay, because let's be 100% honest, the main reason some of our grandmothers stay with our grandfathers, it ain't have shit to do with love.
Because pen right there. If you think about that, that is absolutely true. Because remember, she got kicked out of her house. She ain't had nowhere to go. You ain't had nowhere else to go.
As a teenager, she got kicked out of her house because her mama and daddy said, "Oh, you grown enough to get pregnant. Go on about your business then."
So stick it in. Don't even try. Okay, go ahead. Woo!
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. It's like you got to be real mindful about like why a person is willing to stick around for certain stuff. And then also like she said, she can admit that she had some insecurities. There was some low self-esteem and all this other kind of stuff at that time, right?
Yep.
And because motherfuckers, we'd have been through something, especially our generation. When you think about all the trauma that we done lived through, not even just talking about in relationships, but just a collective lived trauma of life. Yes. You know what I'm saying? We grew up with school shootings being, when they were starting to become a regular thing, and then you had 9/11. Like, we had already had enough trauma in our life. Last thing I want to do is have trauma every day, all day, where I lay my head at. I just no, I don't want to deal with it. And then going back to that point, like I feel like majority of us, there are some women who are like, you need to be in a certain tax bracket to talk to them. Which if that's your requirement, baby, then by all means,
that's your requirement, right?
Right. Now, do I believe that you better be able to regardless of who you are, whatever requirements you have in a relationship, I hope you can provide those same requirements. It's my only thing. Okay. But I think for a huge chunk of us, which are the ones we be at the house quiet and sit still because y'all get to talking about I won't go to Cheesecake Factory for a date. And the rest of us be like, bitch, I'll go for a cup of coffee for a date.
Hello? Baby, we can be at Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay, I will meet you in the park.
You know what's so crazy though? And tell me if you think this is true for yourself. It be men out here that look at you and think that you wouldn't want the Dunkin' Donuts.
110%.
Thanks. Why, Sway? Why?
I know for a fact. I know for a fact.
I would go bowling. What do you
mean? Baby, I like simple shit.
Me too, but they don't think that you do.
Let me tell you something. And I don't even give a fuck if you use a Groupon to get it done.
Thank you.
Bitch, I'm down for saving a coin. I'm also on the budget.
Too. Hello?
You know what I'm saying?
Like I always say, I don't care how many millions I make, I'm going to the Dollar Tree.
Hello. Baby, me and the Dollar Tree. Say like Voodoo.
We like it.
We like it. Baby, you need decorations. You need, baby.
Hello? Every day they got rid of Party City too. I'm definitely in Dollar Tree.
Okay, perfect place for what?
Hello?
A good snack run.
Okay. What was your other point? Because I want to ask you a question about something.
Okay, ask me the question because I just got another point.
Girl, I want to talk about.
Oh, I hope it's what I think.
This boy's mama talk about just stick it out, just make sure that you be patient and all that. I said, ma'am.
You want to know why?
Because I know why. Because she did that with her husband. Because her husband was a pastor, and he was out here making you look bad, and you said and you took it just like she did.
Right.
So she talking about, oh yeah, his mother. She lives with us now. She's always been my mentor. Shame on you, mama. Shame on you.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, that ain't right. That's because that happened with you, and you probably wanted if she would have stood up for herself, it would have made you look bad because you didn't stand up for yourself either as a wife. And I would, when she told that part, she was like, yeah, because, and I hate that the host was like, yeah, amen, amen. I'm like, no, this one, your son is disrespecting this woman at the highest, calling her on her, out her name, and you telling her to endure, but you're not checking your son. Because you can't have that conversation with your son because he gonna look at you and say, well, why you ain't check daddy?
Right. Right. So here you are encouraging this girl to stick it out through this shit.
I ain't like that. I'm sorry. I ain't like that.
I ain't like that either.
I ain't like that.
I ain't like that. And I think not only was it that, I think it also was the fact that for whatever reason she felt convicted in her spirit from the first time she met that girl that was supposed to be her daughter-in-law. You know what I'm saying? And here, I do believe that you can meet a person and there be an instant chemistry. You know what I'm saying? And you probably feel like this is supposed to be your person or something. I do believe that can happen. I don't, now y'all know I'm not a love at first sight person, but I do believe like once you get a chance to hang around a person and be with a person, that I do believe that can happen. I just don't believe in love at first sight, mainly because it just ain't never happened to me. But to each his own. I it so I don't doubt that conviction that they had that they were supposed to be together. It's just how much is too much when you believe you're supposed to be with a person.
Right.
You know what
but
I'm
he
saying?
never really even said that, oh, I loved her and all this other stuff. He just said, when I opened the door, some just said, oh man, that's my wife.
Right. Now,
But
I will say,
you didn't treat her as such. You didn't
right, you
treat her
did
as
not.
something that she was something that God sent to you. You talked about her weight, and what's the first thing she did? She went to the gym. And then he
Yeah.
talking about, oh, we would sit one day and I looked at her. He said, babe, you get a little smaller. And she said, yeah, well, you said you like them smaller. And so I went to the gym the next day because you said you like them smaller and I want you to get what you wanted. Is exactly what she said.
Yep. She was over there starving herself and everything.
She said she was starving herself. She said she wasn't like bulimic or nothing like that, but she said, yeah, I stopped eating a lot. I pretty much was starving myself. Ain't no way.
Right.
Ain't no way. And y'all,
Ain't no
and they
way.
talked it up like it was a flex, like it was something to be, boastful about. I
Right.
said,
And at the end of the day, y'all know one of my favorite sayings is it's not what you say, but how you say it.
How you say it.
And I think a lot of the biggest problem with the way that their story is being received is because of how it was presented.
It is.
It's very much presented like they are. She was happy to go through it. He was happy to do it, and I can understand y'all being happy y'all made it to where y'all are. But like it almost sounds like if we could do it again, I would do it the same.
Yeah.
You know. Now there is a moment where he does admit that he had apologized to her. That I can't remember how he said that he got convicted. I think convicted by something that happened at church, and he went home and washed her feet.
Yeah.
And if you are a religious person or a biblical person or whatever the case may be, you know that being humble enough to wash a person's feet is of huge symbolism.
Like, yeah.
And so he said he went home, washed his feet. She said that she had a hard time accepting it. I can't remember why she said she had a hard time
She
accepting it, but
said that she didn't feel worthy of it.
there we go. Thank you. She didn't feel worthy of it.
I said, so we still dealing with work issues because at the end of the day, she said, well, I feel like it was just his way of saying thank you. Thank you for what? Thank you for putting up with me. Girl, that ain't no. It shouldn't be a thank you. It should be a, I'm sorry. It should be, when the rest of her life, Like that movie that we watched, that old crazy movie on YouTube we watched, and when he finally took her back, he was like, baby, you can go to Dubai, you can have whatever you want, you can do whatever. I love you, I'm sorry. You know, he ain't say no, well, thank you. What? That's what I said. The whole air about their personalities, they think everything is funny. And it's like, nah, y'all should have brung this in a way where there's a lesson to be learned for men and women in this situation. Now, again, like you said, she said that's her story. You should have kept elaborating to the fact this is my story. She did say, like, I don't suggest women to do this. She did say that. But at the end of the day, don't try to crucify every woman that don't do it this way. And that statement where you try to say, well, that's why you single. Well, baby, some of us gonna stay single because guess what? God did not put me here to be nobody's doormat for the first half of my marriage to just to wait to be a blessing toward the end. Because if y'all gonna talk about, what love is, y'all didn't want to talk about that. When God say God is patient, God is love, God is all this, love is all this. You didn't want to say that about that.
You took that right out of my mouth.
Scriptures that validate your bullshit.
And listed everything that love is. Never once did it say it was a struggle. Never once did it say it was painful. Never once did it say it was abusive.
Embarrassing. Nobody ever said that it was none
They're
of that.
not swingers. They're not swingers. They're not swingers. That's not the case. But yeah, it was I don't know. It was the whole video in itself was really interesting to watch. It was interesting some of the points that they made. It was interesting to hear the full story of everything that they went through. And also, like I said, knowing that because the way the clip plays, I very much thought this was some recent shit that y'all have been going through.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Having a little bit better understanding of all of this happened in y'all early 20s when y'all were still young and so forth and so on.
That was good to know.
It was good to know. It gives a little bit more insight on the situation.
I gave them a little bit more grace once I was like, oh, okay, y'all did this. You was 18 when you was doing most of this stuff. Okay.
Right, because I was picturing, this within the last 10, 15 years. This was like 30 plus years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this was a while. This was a while ago.
Right.
So I do want to shift us a little bit though.
Okay.
To something else that was pretty popular. And I think I sent the video to you. I can't remember. But nonetheless, let me see. How long is this video? Okay, yeah, okay. We're gonna play this real quick.
Is going to the same bar that your friend is having a date on to go spy.
For context, these two girls went to go prank their friend who was on a date and sent the drink to the table unknowingly. And at the end of the video, they was all talking to each other, basically saying to keep a nigga on their toes. Me personally, I honestly think it's pretty funny, pretty harmless. And the reason why I think that is because if I was in that situation, I probably would have laughed and called the waiter over and be like, yo, whoever sent that drink, tell them to ask to send another one. However, people are on the internet saying that shit is dumb. And I also see why. That shit is stupid. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Not everybody's gonna react that way. And honestly, depending on the dude, he might find that shit disrespectful. As far as the girls that were actually doing the prank, they literally said that they ain't have shit to do. So yeah, them niggas is bored. They dead ass walked up 3 flights of stairs to pull this prank off. Hey, look, if it made them happy, fuck it. I just don't think it's that big of a deal. Do I think it's stupid? Like I said, yeah, definitely. But I also think it's funny. But like I said, I had the way to go back to asking for another drink. If she comes back and says no, I had the way to go back over there again and be like, hey, this person said shut your ass up and listen to this beat.
Okay, whatever to that part. But I couldn't find the original video. I'm gonna see if I can find it in a second. But it was basically, the girls, they were bored. They knew their friend was they had been out drinking. They knew their friend was on a date. So they pull up to where their friend was and was like, and the place that they pull up to was apparently like 3 stories. They had to go all the way up to the 3rd floor to find their friend. And they decided to send a drink to the friend. And say that it was from somebody who thought she was cute. So basically, to pretend like it was from another guy. The first video that I actually saw about it was a friend of the guy who was on the date talking about how he thought it was immature and childish of them to do it, and the fact that they ended up posting it um online and everything, and was like that. It was just he was just like he felt it was stupid. He felt it was dumb. Like, what was the point of y'all doing all that type thing? Um.
That's a good point.
So you want to give your thoughts on that?
If I'm out with my person or somebody on the first date or whatever, and my friends show up because they bored to my date to send me a drink to see how this man gonna react, that is kind of childish to me. And like he said in the comments, he's like, "Is you kind of dry hating a little bit? Like, why? What's the point of this? What's the
Right.
reason of it? Like, because y'all bored and I'm on a date and you got my location or whatever. It's like, I understand where your friends kind of want to be like, oh, let's see how he gonna react. It's kind of like your friends testing him for their own amusement, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I don't think that any one of my friends would ever do that because number one, I'm probably gonna cuss them the hell out because like, what are you doing? Like, number one, I'm grown, and number two, if I didn't ask you to come do anything like that, what makes you think that I want you to come intrude on my date anyway? Or if these young girls, young girls do young girl shit. So I don't know. But as for
Yeah.
me, I think it's petty. I think it's immature. It's not even, yeah.
Right. So I did try to go find the original video, and apparently it's they done took it down.
Okay.
But I agree. It's one thing if you want to go check on your friend, and just check on, and because here's the thing. Am I opposed to my friends pulling up just to lay eyes and just double check and make sure shit cool and copacetic or whatever the case may be? No, I'm not opposed to that because I'm always gonna be about my girls, and I'm always gonna be about making sure my girls are safe and having a good time. Now, that doesn't. I'm not gonna come over there and say shit. I just, as soon as I lay eyes on you,
Right.
I see everything. At most, I may get a picture of old boy just to make sure we have some evidence of who the fuck you was with. But other than
Right.
that, you ain't gonna know I was there. I'm not saying anything. You know what I mean? I do think it was childish and disrespectful to send the drink over with the attempt to make the man jealous and make it seem like it was somebody else who was interested in you. Because it's like, bro, we grown. If I'm really interested in this person and you cause unnecessary rift, like, for what?
For your own kiki kaka, because y'all literally say y'all was
Right.
bored. And like you said, to go back, I'm only coming there is unless we don't have the discussion like, hey, at the beginning of the day, can you just come make sure I'm okay? But if we didn't have a discussion for me to do that, I'm not doing that either.
All right.
Like, I'm not just gonna do that at my own free will. Like, okay, let me make sure my girl okay. Like, that's the whole point. Like, hey, first date, location, take a slick, pic of him, like you said, send it to us. So just in case
Right.
if I go miss it, this is what this mofo look like.
You
But
know what I
me
mean?
just coming up there for no reason, because that means y'all literally had to sit texting each other like, girl, blah 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 blah. Yeah, blah 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 blah. We should go up there, blah 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 blah. Nah,
Right.
nah.
Because at the beginning of the video, they talked about the fact that they already have been drinking and stuff. And it's like, just because don't be trying to use my dating life as your form of amusement. You know what I'm saying? Now, whatever I send to the group chat, cool,
Right.
whatever. But don't come over here causing problems.
Mm-mm.
And that's the thing, and that's where being that's where friendships start to get weird as an adult. When it's the little things that people do that impede your growth, whether it's as an individual, it's in a relationship, whether it's at work, whatever the case may be. You and a lot of people disguise it as, oh, I'm just playing, it's just a joke. No, no, bitch.
Right. You meant that.
Yeah, yeah. It was something else
Mm-hmm.
behind it. Let's be 100% honest. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it was a little something else behind that. You know what I'm saying? Because and now I did see another video where the girl who was on the date, she thought it was funny. She said she did apologize to the guy and explain to him what was going on after the fact because she didn't know what was going on until after the date as well. So she ended up apologizing to him and telling him or whatever the case may be. And she thought it was funny. They all still thought it was funny. And thought people were overreacting. They was like, "Oh, you must ain't got no real friends if y'all think this was doing too much." I was like, "No, I do have some real friends, and
Right.
my real friends want to see me happy and
Right.
wouldn't do anything to jeopardize that unless they see something going on that could be a detriment to me."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like being unnecessarily rude and mean or whatever you want to call it for, especially for the purpose of getting laughs on the internet. Bitch,
Yeah.
let me tell you something. I am not the we gonna do some dumb shit to each other just so we can go viral and get laughs on social media. I ain't that
Mm-mm.
friend to begin with.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying?
Not at all.
Um, so for you to go through the trouble to record yourself coming to find that girl, and they literally had to go find her. They came into the restaurant. They sat at the bar on the first level. Oh, she not on this level. So they go up to the second level. She not on that level. They finally find her on the third level. They sit at the bar, uh, and sit and start sending the drinks over and stuff. And it's like y'all went through all this. Y'all recorded all this content for the purposes of because
Mm-hmm.
y'all thought it was gonna be funny, and y'all wanted to post it.
Yep.
And I think in the very first video that she posted, you could see the guy's face appearance. And then so she took that video down so that she could take the guy's face off. So couldn't figure out who he was or whatever the case may be. Um, and then reposted it. But I guess they got enough backlash because baby, the video is no longer in existence. At least it ain't on. I mean, it ain't
I
on
mean, you
on the
gotta.
main girl
I
page.
understand even if they was in, even if they had been drinking that night, because maybe they was already out together and drinking
They
or
were.
whatever, and then decided to, be like, hey, let's go pull up under the. But at the end of the day, even in your drunk state, like you don't know if things gonna go left or things gonna go right. So like I just said, I feel like all my good friends and we know each other enough and know our boundaries enough, know what not to play with. So
Yeah, don't do that.
it's like at the end of the day, you only know where I'm at for my safety purposes, not to play games with me, not to
Exactly.
play, like not to be doing no stupid ass shit, whether you was drunk or not. So like I said, you could tell this is some very young girl shit, maybe
Very.
shit that young girls do.
They
But
look.
nah,
The
I'm
girls look
cool
like they
off
were
it.
probably in like their late 20s, maybe.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
they
yeah,
look like they was in their late 20s, mid
yeah,
to
no.
late 20s. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, no, that shit just didn't sit right with me at all.
Nah.
Because you also have to think about it like this: like, how would I feel if I was sitting at dinner with somebody at this, me and this lady finance son, we out to dinner, and his homeboys decided it was funny to send over a drink talking about a lady at the bar thought that you was cute and wanted you to have a drink. Who was at the bar? Who? Who at the bar trying to be funny? Why are we doing this? And then if I find out that it's your friends, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's gonna be an automatic turn off for me.
It
Because
is.
because my thought process then goes to if your friends would come and play jokes like this on a date where we're trying to get to know each other and build a connection and build a relationship, what are they going to do if we actually become a item? How are they going to act then?
Bingo.
Are they going to be respectful to our relationship then? Are they going to be
Nope.
wanting to play these funny ass pranks and think this shit funny, trying to make it look like you cheating or trying to make it look like something else is going on? You know what I'm saying? Like that's where my mind started going. Baby, I ain't got time for it. I don't need nobody who want to play them type of games. At all. Because I'm gonna make sure my man feel real secure in my relationship, and I'll be good goddamn if any of my friends uh plant a seed of insecurity in my man for jokes, for fun, for laughs. Baby, you will no longer be my friend because if you can't be respectful of my relationship, then what the fuck are we doing? Because I'm gonna be respectful of yours. So why would you disrespect mine? Like it pulls so many layers of different things.
I agree. Comment. I agree.
What this one?
The last one, he said, "What kind of relationship do you have with these friends that think that they can do something like that?" That's what I get. Like I say, I get that y'all young. I get that y'all drunk. You thought it was a kiki and a caca, but it's like at the end of the day, like you said, are you gonna respect the boundaries of my relationship if we continue to grow? And at the end of the day, what if he don't want to talk to you no more after that because of this dumbass shit? Like,
right? Because it's literally that. It's some dumb ass shit, and that's kind of the crazy thing about dating in today's society, especially when every other person that you meet want to go viral on social media. Every other person that you meet down there wants to have their, fame and moment and all this other kind of stuff. Granted, not so much the older we done got. Some people is just like, child, I use this shit for networking or I use it for this and I'm cool. But there are still a shit ton of people of all ages that are looking for that moment to go viral so they can become an influencer and get paid off of doing social media. And it's like, okay, but at one point, can we just live a life that ain't got to be posted for social media? Everything ain't gotta be captured. It, as much as people say everything is content, everything don't have to be content.
Like I was having a conversation with somebody in my DMs the other day, because he was saying that he had a video that went pretty big because I had posted a video talking about my DMs and how like I keep them pretty much shut off. And he was like, I think I'm gonna have to do that. He said, because people will be in my DMs now because of this video or whatever. He's like, but me and my girl just be in my DMs laughing because he was like, nah, I'm not here for that. And I said, yeah, I said, it's important if you want to be on social media to always have social media boundaries. So you will already know this is my boundary, this is my standard. I don't go outside of this.
Right.
Because I'm here for, and we was talking about how people have to, know how to differentiate what social media is used for. Social media is a tool. It's not life. It's not where you go to prey on people. It's not where you go to try to manipulate people. It's supposed to be used as a tool. You can either use it to be informative. You could be the person that is being informative, a kiki, a kaka to get inspired, to learn something, or to network, or to brand your businesses, stuff like that. But when you try to take it outside of that, of those boundaries and those perimeters, is when it gets ugly and sticky. It's like you want it for the attention. You want it because you trying to do this or do that. It's like, nah, keep and stay in that little perimeter, that little box, and you'll be cool. But other than that, a lot of people done made it too much than what it was. You got the big head now because 5 people done told you was cute or you was handsome. And it's just, it goes downhill. You get attention that you wouldn't normally get in real life. And it just like you said, some people need their cell phones taken.
And that's the biggest thing. A lot of people are getting attention that they've never received, and they don't know how to handle. They don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to process it. And then also people have parasocial relationships.
They do.
If you don't know what a parasocial relationship is, it's basically where a person considers themselves a friend or a lover or whatever of a person that they see on social media, and that the person on social media 9 times out of 10 ain't got no clue who the fuck they is.
No.
But let the person who's watching tell it, oh, that's the love of my life, that's my best friend. And that's where you get into this thing where people feel like if you have any level, if you have a significant level or significant presence on social media, that the your audience is has some right to your life, has some right to know everything about you and all this other kind of thing. That's why when motherfuckers be like, "Oh, I love you," and I know you don't know shit about me because I don't post shit about myself
Mm-mm.
on social media. I be up here for the shits and the gigs and to tell y'all these erotic stories and poems that I done wrote. And
Mm-hmm.
to enlighten y'all on sexual health education. That is
Yeah.
what I am on social media for. You don't
Mm-hmm.
know shit else about me. Not a good goddamn
As
thing.
it should be. That's how it should be though. Because a lot of people right now, like I see it was a point of time, and that's why I got rid of one of my pages because it was like kind of getting annoying. Um, I'm like I would see the same people just sitting on live all day. I'm like from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, like you putting in hours on this bitch. And then being disagreements, you always in messy stuff. Your name always scattered across the internet. It's like when you have taken this thing and made it life, or you made it something other than what it's supposed to be. It's like I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to. I don't want to come and pass my FYP. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to, because at the end of the day, that's not what I'm here for. That's not what I want to see, and it's annoying. Because if
Yeah.
you forget to touch grass, you be so engulfed about the stuff that you see on social media, and it will be draining to you. It be draining to your spirit. It be draining to everything. And it's like, nah, I may be a personality or a person on social media, but I am a real person that go through real shit and know how to turn this motherfucker off real quick and go live a
Mm-hmm.
real life with the real people in my real circle.
That part.
Like at the end of the day, I know in the morning what I'm posting. I know at the end of the day if I want to laugh, if I want to do all this, and then I cut it off and I live my life. At the end of the day,
Exactly.
but some people have made this life like they live to wake up in the morning and click on this motherfucker. It's like, nah. Did you pour
Baby, they
into
can't.
yourself in the beginning of this day first? Did you
Oh,
affirm
baby,
yourself first, or do you
they
turn
didn't
on
even get the
social
credit.
media? Or do you turn on social media to feel affirmed? Because at the
They
end
don't
of the
even.
day, I am who I am, whether I turn this bitch on or not.
Also facts. Most motherfuckers don't even get the crust out their eyes before they scrolling.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, it is. And then that also goes, and we both kind of touched on it a little bit about, whether or not sharing your relationships on social media is a good thing. There are some people who have their boundaries and they know how to make this social media thing as a couple work. And I follow a
Mhm.
couple pages from social media, you know what I'm saying? And they know how to make it work.
Right.
Even it, let me I will I this is where I am with it, right? Because I've gone back and forth so many times because my business mind is also like, yeah, but depending on how we structure a page, the brand deals that could come from, like, business mind. Like, if I was to do a couples thing on social media, it's gonna be about business. We is here for the business of it all. We ain't here to tell these people our business. We ain't here to tell these people if we got arguments or whatever the fuck we got going on behind closed doors. We ain't here for none of that shit. We is here for the things that's gonna get us money. That's it. That's it. That's all. Right? And then on the other side of me is like, all money ain't good money. And
I think with
how
everything is it's about how you present it and how you brand yourself. Like at the end of the day, I feel like both of our platforms have really nothing to do. You know how like some people be like, "Oh, I'm vlogging today. I'm at Walmart. I'm here. I'm here." I don't think either one of our platforms is like that. So it's
yeah,
not really like that. You get this box. That's what I give y'all. I give y'all this 20%. This 80 is for me. Like it's a
that
lot of
part.
people that they take this thing. Oh, I'm at the gynecologist today. That ain't us. So to transition over to now, we got y'all all in our business all of a sudden because now I got a man. I'm not doing that now because that's never been me. out of the 6 years that I have been in social media, I've never taken you. I'll probably take you to Target with me because I want to show you some shit. But other than that, I've never been like, oh, I'm vlogging today. I'm going to Starbucks today. I have a coochie appointment today. I'm going to get my hair braided today. Nah, that ain't never been us. So why would I transition now and have my man and be all in the camera because we about to make a coin? I can make a coin by myself. I'd rather for him to go make his coin by himself. Baby, let them women be as thirsty as they want to you in your comments and make sure and let them think they got a shot. While I'm over here branding the fuck out your ass.
Right. I'm the one that's reading and responding to the comments.
Hello? Hello? Half the time you try to send me a DM and probably be even responding. Like I had somebody last one day. I said, listen, they want it so bad, baby. We could charge them $50 to clone a Willie. We sure can. I will help you silicone and clone it for myself and charge a whole $50 for them. Because that's the only way you're going to feel it. That's the only way. Go ahead. That
you want to pay for it?
That's not pimping. Because at the end of the day, I know where he's at. He's with me.
That part.
It's like,
and that's what I mean.
am not insecure to feel that way. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's an insecurity at all.
Nah.
But yeah, I mean, but that's the biggest thing about it, and I feel like so years ago, like when YouTube first was like really popping, baby, I tried the vlogging thing, and I knew then it wasn't for me because I was like, I don't want people knowing this much about me. And granted, I still wasn't even putting a whole lot out there. I still wasn't. I don't even know. Them videos might still be there. It was some real basic, regular ass shit, child. I don't need y'all in my business like that.
Because it opens the window for people to have an extra opinion. Because even me posting my meal prep, people gonna be like, "Oh, don't put that in there or do this." Your profile picture is a puppy, sir. How the fuck you want to sit here and tell me about carbs? Go kiss my ass.
That part.
I mean, it's like, no, you shouldn't do this because it's like
I don't remember asking your ass.
Exactly. So it's like when you open that door in that vlog area to show people your whole day and you're opening up a whole new can of opinions. And unless you're ready for that, unless you're ready for the other part or the woman or the man, what want to now post relationship stuff that's want to come up and like, oh, well, he was in my DMs 3 weeks ago or 3 months ago or 3 years ago.
You know what? Let's put a pin right there, right quick. Let's talk about that real quick. Because hold on before you go. Let me put this out here. Right. If Irene ever pops out with somebody, right? I'm gonna make it known that don't come to me as a woman about some shit that was sent to you 3 months ago. Bitch, 9 times out of 10, I already know. And guess what? The motherfucker is still eating my ass and sucking my coochie.
Period.
What the fuck? I've never understood that. Oh, well, he wanted to talk to me 6 months. Bitch, that was 6 months ago. You selling this shit like it was 6 minutes ago. Bitch, that was months ago. I never understood that. Like, why are y'all coming to somebody to say, oh yeah, they was in my DMs at such and such time? Bitch, okay. You want a cookie? What the fuck you want? I never understood that.
I never understood that. Yeah, I think it's a safety thing too. Star, I feel like it's a safety thing too. And a lot of people do that because
it is.
A lot of people, and I feel like even a lot of stars, like I think that one dude that he was with his girlfriend and she talking about we posted up at whatever. They thought that's why she was an op or whatever because he got shot up at the same place where she had posted where they were. And people don't understand that. People want to do stuff like outside their house and all this other stuff. It's like, nah, people are crazy nowadays. And like you said, you have these, relationships that you done created in your head. And now people want to pop at your house. I'm going to let you know, babe, we keep the clickety clacks and the tickety tacks. We got 4 of them over here. Trespassing is real. So let's not do
Okay.
that. Mm-mm. But that's
Don't
why I
do
said,
it.
like, at the end of the day, it's like, as long as you ready for what comes along with social media, people gonna have their opinions. The more you open yourself up and the more you open those gates up, you got to be prepared for that. And like I said, you gonna have people, if you doing couple channels, they gonna be like, oh well, da 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 da, but da 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 da. Then if you want to do like, oh, you a mother, then you got everybody in your comments trying to teach you how to be a mama. All of a sudden, you do like makeup, people gonna be like, oh well, you should do this first. Like, everybody's gonna have an opinion. So at the end of the day, if you're not strong enough to be in this predicament, like, just don't even do it. Just
Right.
don't even do it. Because like I be like, how you gonna snap off on them people when you sit here telling them your whole business? Just turn your
Yeah, that do
comments
be the
off.
thing. That do be the thing. Because at some point, it's like, some stuff just keep to yourself. You know. Because,
Like,
and
at the
then
end
at
of
the
the
end of
day, just have your boundaries. But at the end of the day, they also know that doing that brings the people to your comments, and the more people in your comments is more engagement, which pushes your videos more. So although they take a lot of backlash, a lot of people don't care about it because it brings in the money on.
it's a person that I follow. Uh, damn it, what is his name? I can't think of his name. I'm gonna have to see. And I just looked at one of his videos, but he has recently been saying y'all are gonna hate me to millions because
Mm-hmm.
it's because he calls himself a rich auntie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and of course, he carries a purse, he wears heels, and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfucker is absolutely fabulous. You know what I'm saying? Lives in Chicago, finna move to Houston, all this other. Motherfucker is fabulous, honey.
Mm-hmm.
And he told him straight up, "You about to hate me to millions."
Yeah.
And he said, "I appreciate it. Thank you." Because that's the
Hello.
thing. That's why I don't let trolls bother me when I be live and I be laughing at the shit. And I'll go back and forth with you for a little while because I appreciate it. Thank you for the engagement. Appreciate it. Y'all don't understand that y'all be helping, but y'all think y'all
They
be hurting
really don't.
somebody's feelings. I be like, come on, please. Come on,
That's
please.
just
I be
like
looking forward to it.
as soon as they announced that Casey Anthony was on TikTok, I made a video. I ain't tag, I ain't do nothing. I said, y'all about to make Casey Anthony one of the richest mofos on this app. Y'all about to make her so rich because y'all about to flood her comments. Y'all about to duet and stitch everything she do. So
Hmm.
as soon as she posts one video, it's gonna be in the millions. She gonna have
Yep.
instant followers, not out of love, but you want to be notified as soon as
And
she
nosy.
posts something.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, you about to make her money after money just so you
That's
can be
why.
negative.
That's why
And
you
people
had to
don't
be
realize
lit.
that.
They don't. It's like I remember when it was this lady that was up there trying to dog big women out and talk about some of the reasons you can't find a man is because of this and that and another. I made a video in response to her, but I didn't tag her.
And
I
don't
don't even
stitch
think
it.
I said
Nope.
her name. I didn't stitch it. I didn't duet the
Nope.
shit because at the end of the day, I'm not finna help drag no attention to your ass.
Nope.
But I will say what the fuck I got to say.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like you have to think about it. Like you can post your shit. You can post your reply to the situation. Because
Mm-hmm.
here go the other thing. You make a reply to the situation, somebody watch your video, I guarantee you, some way, somehow the FYP gonna still roll that
They
shit
do because
around.
yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, because it's funny because like sometimes even if you don't stitch something and you don't even say the name, but the FYP or the algorithm can figure out what you're talking about, and you look at the search part of your video,
Mm,
it'll catch on to it. Or if
it do.
somebody in the comments mentioned it, you be like, "Oh, I know what you're talking about, girl." Da, 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 da. But that's literally just what it is, though. Or people love to go and battle the whole man and woman battle, and you say something stupid and ignorant, they already know that's gonna automatically do something. As soon as you talk about
Hmm.
a fat woman, that's gonna automatically have somebody arguing. People know it's called what they call it now is rage bait. They do it
Rage
on
bait. Hmm.
purpose, and people do not understand. Everybody fall for it every time. Somebody gonna say something extra stupid, extra dumb to get you in the comments to keep arguing with each other. Like I got a video on Instagram now that's almost at 2 million views. I don't even look at the comments no more because people just argue in the comments with each other. I don't.
Girl.
When
the motherfuckers start getting like that.
I'm so sitting there the notifications. I'm like, y'all can have it. Do what y'all do, whatever. But y'all can sit here arguing with each other about men and women relationships. Y'all got it. Go ahead.
Right, you got it. Because I said what I said. I'm still gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Right.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
Which is why we always try to make sure that we mention we are not relationship gurus, baby. We just get up here and just give y'all our opinion on shit. You can take it, leave it, love it, or hate it. It is what it is.
We have already said from the beginning, we not relationship gurus. You will never hear no man hate over here because, baby, we love our men and we love our black men. Hello. You're not going to find it. But number two, you got to also understand that there's a way to speak to our people in love also. It's also like I am perfectly okay with a man saying something to me that is incorrection as long as you say it correctly and it's in a positive way. Like I don't have no problem with that. Like nobody is too big not to learn something or to be corrected. But when you want to come to me and box me in and talking about y'all this or y'all that, no, don't say y'all, baby, because baby, although a lot of things has happened to me in my past in relationships, it never made me bitter. It never made me, say I hate men and da-da-da. Never. What it did was heighten my discernment. It never made me hate black men. It never made me hate my brothers or nothing like that. So at the end of the day, you ain't gonna never see that over here.
Although we both probably have every right to. Neither one of us fell into that we hate me and shit.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? And we do our best not to generalize because we do understand that not every single man on this planet is the same. You know what I'm saying? And just like that's why we don't do that y'all don't generalize us.
No.
Because there are groups of people that do certain shit and we just be like, baby, we don't do that.
Exactly. That's why I hate when something like that happened to me on one of my pages yesterday. You talking about something y'all did this and y'all women. I'm like, come on. I said, I understand that, that's the dynamic of relationships right now on social media, but don't box me into nothing. Don't say y'all, baby. Because one thing about me, I'm a lover girl. I may be rough around the edges, but at the end of the day, I love who I love. Baby, and he gonna know it every time. I'm gonna adorn his head every time I see him. Hello. Hello. That's a good black man there. Yes, it is. Baby. Hello? Yo, tell your mama. Thank you, sir.
Say about she did a good job.
Big one. Hello. Hello. And whoever told you that
Hey, appreciate player. Listen, whoever fumbled, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Like that man said in the first topic we talked about, he said when he seen that girl later that was his ex, he said, I want to thank you for giving my wife my phone number because we married now.
Right. See, we married.
So thank you, baby. Thank you.
Appreciate it, honey.
Because at the end of the day, like I had seen this one video and they talking about, oh yeah, because this person was this. But he said, I ain't like that no more. I ain't like that with her. So at the end of the day, I don't know what version of this person that you may have, and I'm sorry that you may have experienced that version of this person, but that's not that version that's with me.
Right, I don't know that. I'm like, I don't know him. I don't know that. I don't know that man.
I don't know that man. So, baby, I think the only time you will probably see a person with me on social media is when I have a baby. When I give birth, that's probably to be the only time that you will see a man in my life.
Apparently, never mind. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that.
I'm just saying, everything ain't for everybody.
I mean, no, all facts. You know, I ain't gonna say that either.
Oh Lord.
Okay. I'm just trying not to tell my business. That's all, girl. You know how I be. You know how I be.
Tell your business. We don't want you to tell your business. But I'm just saying, for me, you're not gonna ever see no couples page with me. The only thing that you will see a family page with a child and a husband, but me just with my man. No.
I don't know. At this current moment, I don't know. I don't. It genuinely depends, and it would have to be a full discussion with boundaries between me and that person.
Right.
And the only reason I say that is because I made content with somebody and it was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very much content that can't be like what you gonna do about it? Shit, ain't shit else you can pull from it. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't telling no business. It wasn't,
Right.
it wasn't putting nobody in our business or none of that shit like that. So it was cool. So I'm like, it made me go, if we was doing shit like this thing's kind of fun.
But is
It's
it
kind of cool.
presented as like, is it presented as a couple page, or is it presented as like we do content together page?
The particular content that we did could be deemed as couple ish.
Okay. So in the future,
It,
that's what I'm saying. Is it considered that?
it would
Okay.
be. Yeah. It would be. And especially if yeah, it would be. Because okay, I'm gonna be very specific in saying this. If me and said person,
Mm-hmm.
we already know. Right. If you
Mm-hmm.
know, you know. If me and said person was, to move that way, especially with knowing how this particular person is, it would 100% be a couple's content page. It
And I
would
think it
it
would
would 100.
thrive too. I think it would thrive.
It probably would. Foolish,
I
pure
don't
D
know about.
foolishness.
Well, I would say based up. Damn, never mind. I'll text it to you. Cause I
Okay.
don't. Well, technically, it's already posted. If you watched the last
Oh, I know
episode,
what
can't
you
say
was.
that either. I can't say that. I can't say that either. Y'all be
Don't
quiet.
say it like that. Don't say it like that. Don't say it like that. I know
I ain't
exactly
gonna
what
say
you're about to
nothing.
say though.
I just ain't
I
gonna say nothing.
I mean, yeah, somebody else made that same statement though.
It
Somebody
was
else
a
made
great
that
show.
same.
That's all I'm gonna say. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna say it was a
Yeah,
great show.
yeah,
I
it
can edit
was.
this
No,
part out.
it's fine. Honestly, it's fine. Trust me, I don't even matter. It don't even matter at this point. It's nothing to hide at this point because clearly,
Clearly.
clearly, it's
I think it would
it,
be. I think it would thrive very well.
it would. I think it would too because
Yeah.
pure D foolishness, pure
Yes.
D foolishness. Um, but yeah, I would like. That's why I say like I would consider it because it was fun, and every time we've done something together, it's been fun. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So that's why I'm like, yeah, I probably would consider it. Um, but you want to know what though? A family page, I would probably be a lot more cautious about.
Really?
And yes, and I'm gonna tell you why. People here, it's at least until my child or children are of a
I
certain
agree with that.
age. You know what I'm saying? What happened?
Hmm. I'll read the comments.
Nothing worse than seeing the tribe of folks someone dated but didn't keep. Oh, listen,
Cause on the reason why I say like I wouldn't do that, cause I ain't gonna, I try not to laugh at a situation that I seen months ago. And it's like this person popped that. It was like, yeah, this my da 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 da. And literally 7 days later, they was broke up.
Mhm.
Like,
But
and
here,
I
but
say like for me, I would do a couples page with a person that I know is permanent. Like I know, no,
yeah,
no, this is gonna be my husband. This is gonna be, but just keeping on popping out and popping out. People keep popping out on social media. I'm not doing that.
yeah, no.
I'm not
Every
doing that.
time, hey China, yeah, no, I'm not doing
Hey,
every
China.
time I link with somebody or I
No,
connect with
I
a
was
person. We
like,
got to have a.
you
I'm
was
not doing
talking
that
to this
shit.
person for however long you was talking to this person. You proclaimed to social media that this was your person, and literally a week later, you on a live talking about it didn't work out. A week.
But you want to know why though? But that's because as soon as somebody say they in a relationship, they want to pop out and do a couples page, and once again, it goes back to that whole thing where majority of people just be wanting to do stuff because they trying to find a quick way to get
Amen.
famous on social media. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? if me and said person were to pop out as a couple with a couple's page and stuff like that,
Right.
baby, we've already put in the work for this to be a
Right.
relationship and for this to be solidified.
Amen.
You know what
And
I'm
it's
saying? And
solid.
then that
Right.
would have been a right, and then there would have been a discussion about, okay, if we do this, what are we trying to do with it, and how is it gonna look, and this, that, or another type situation. You know what I mean? It would just it it would be we doing this just because we together,
Right.
just because we want to make some money or whatever. Because 9 times 10, we probably wouldn't even be focused on whether or not we're gonna make money on it, because both of us just goofy as fuck and just be
Amen.
wanting to have a good time.
True.
You know what I'm saying? But that's why you see these people, as soon as they get into a relationship, you only know this person for 2 weeks. Y'all
Ready to
feel like y'all
post.
are all in love with each other, and now y'all
And
want to
ready to
post each other.
post.
And now the girl that he was actually with 2 nights ago, when he told you he was at his auntie house, is in your DMs
Baby,
or in your
listen.
comments talking about something. Oh, well,
With the
that's
eyes.
funny. Right. This is funny.
This is awkward. And that's why
Right.
I said, listen, to me, and then also for me, like, I love the personal space that I'm in right now, and I kind of want to just keep that for me. Like, I love, the growth that is happening in my life right now, in my personal life, and it's like it's almost, girl, I know you ain't about to get emotional, but it's like it
Oh,
is a beautiful space, and it's like I feel like God has gifted this season of my life for me, and it's like you
yeah,
want to just hold on to it and keep it for yourself. And it's like
I agree.
yeah, and it's like I don't want to share that right now. I don't want
I'm
to.
not gonna I'm not gonna hold you. I think that's one of the things of why information coming out now, I'm like, okay, it is what it is.
Mhm.
Because this has literally been a growing thing for
Yes, yeah,
I don't know if I want to say it for a while. Let's just say it's some history behind it.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so for everybody, it's funny, especially with for individuals who are just now finding out.
Mhm.
I've had somebody be like, "Oh, it's about time." Like, baby, it's been going on for a while. You just not finding out about it, but it's been going on for a while.
First of all, I don't be trying to sound like Anita Baker in my videos. Don't do me.
Baby, don't she be smooth talking you in the video? I was like, who is this? That is my sister.
I can't be sounding like I sound now. That ain't appealing. While cooking,
She said she gotta get soft and sultry on
I
that
gotta
ass.
get sultry on them when I'm showing y'all my wings.
Your wife is crazy.
But yeah, I mean, I
Well,
feel
let me
like
help
to
you.
every time is a season, but it's like it's a beautiful thing to just grow without the opinions of people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because like
It's
too many, like, nah, ain't
not
nobody
I was
got to know your
touching my
business like that. Like,
not I was touching my nipples. That's crazy. Not touching your nipples while watching a cooking video is diabolical. I'm gonna say that. It's a little diabolical.
so
But
at the end of the
I
day,
I agree.
like she
It
said, when you what people see now is the growth of something that has been growing behind the scenes in its due season, in its due time.
mhm.
It's like just because you get to see glimpses of it, it's kind of like you see the tip of the iceberg, but the underneath surface is like 20 feet deeper than what you see on on the surface. And it's like people been growing bonds and situations and relationships far deeper than a lot of people maybe even understand. And it's
Mhm.
like at the end of the day, when it's that time in that season for those people to tell you what they want to tell you, that's their choice.
Right.
But just know, baby, it ain't nothing to be played with. And don't nobody play about their peoples around here. So at the end of the day, like, keep it sacred to yourself. Like,
Mhm.
if that time in that season come, like he said, keep it private, keep it to yourself. Hold those treasures and those gifts that God been given to you lately to yourself. Because it's like at the end of the day, I don't want it tainted. I don't want it tarnished. I don't want nobody speaking on it because I know my temper go from 0 to 60. It's like, nah, I'm gonna keep this to myself. This is for me.
Yeah. Y'all
This
think
this
these y'all think these chubby cheeks and pretty smiles is
Cause
nice.
say something smart. Say something smart. Cause listen.
But Well, listen, we gonna go and wrap this motherfucker up because we try.
Don't be saying that about my baby.
Listen. All right, so Kay, tell the people what you got going on, girl.
Listen. Other than being on this beautiful platform with this beautiful sister of mine every Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads. What else? Couple more pages under Simply K Simone, Simply K Simone TV, or Simply Spice My Business, where you can also go to simplyspicespice.com and order your seasonings today. And that's about it.
Well, I am your girl, Irene the Passion Queen. If I'm on the platform, you can find me there as Irene the Passion Queen. Outside of being here with my beautiful sister every Thursday, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, you can also catch me on the Queendom, TheQueenDomme, every other Tuesday. Yeah, every other Tuesday, 7 Central, 8 Eastern. We just did a show this past Tuesday about about taboo kinks and fetishes. Motherfucker was hilarious. I advise you to go watch it.
I want to be the one that slurped the noodle off the dingly.
Ramonophilia, baby. Ramonophilia. And then oh shit. And then you can also make sure they ain't spicy. Oh, that's crazy.
Get the chicken flavor.
Oh shit.
Go watch it. I already shared it on our community tab. Go watch it.
Please watch it. That episode was hilarious. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, sorry.
And then you can also catch me on Wednesday nights here on YouTube again under Black Girls React at 8 Central, 9 Eastern. Of course, y'all can make sure you get your copies of Vacation, The Purple Dungeon, as well as the Sexual Awakening Journal. And go ahead and make sure, if you have not done so already, download Worshiper wherever you get your music from, please and thank you.
All links will be in the description box.
Yes. And we appreciate y'all for rocking with us every time. Make sure you share this motherfucker out. Tell a friend to bring their ass on in next time.
Go watch the playlist. If you don't feel like watching any other videos for hours, we have a playlist called Show Clips. It's like 162 videos to watch. But if you just click playlist and let them keep running, you can watch all of them.
That part. Yeah. You know, clean up your house and let that shit roll.
Yeah.
Look at God. Won't he do it?
Won't he will?
Y'all have a good one. Bye.
Bye.